Hello and greetings and welcome everyone. We are the Untold Stories Project, and tonight we present part 2 of our Dark Legacy Cthulhu Awakens Limited special. Cthulhu Awakens is a new Mythos RPG powered by the Age system from our friends over at Green Onion Publishing, which is currently available on Kickstarter. It is on the last week on Kickstarter, and they are 750% funded, so it's already funded, and now it's just stocking the mysterious mythos stretch goals, which they're already halfway to the next stretch goal as of this moment. For those watching live, for those watching a rerun or video on demand, hopefully they made it.
It's a smashing success, and you want to be a part of it so that you can, I don't know. I'm not good at advertising.
My name is Jonesy, and I will be your game master this evening. A quick note for those unfamiliar with the Cthulhu mythos is a horror setting where players may encounter gore, disturbing images, other unsettling content, as well as adult language, some of which coming from the players. As if this content isn't for you, we totally get that. We hope you check out one of our other mini streams. As mentioned, Cthulhu Awakens is a horror mythos-inspired RPG. The default setting is referred to as the Weird Century, which spans anywhere from 1920s to 2020s, allowing you to run everything from classic 1920s haunted houses to 60s Cold War eldritch thrillers to modern-day takes on the mythos. A couple quick caveats before we meet our cast. This game is in active development, so some of the rules may be slightly tweaked from what we present tonight on the stream versus the final release. And there's also a good chance I might flat out just run something wrong, because I am human. But I will do my best to make sure that doesn't happen. But wanted to give out that disclaimer just in case. Cthulhu Awakens uses the Age system, as noted, which powers Fantasy Age, Modern Age, and Blue Rose, as well as the Expanse. And it uses 3d6 as its core mechanic. One of those being an odd colored dice, which is referred to as the drama dice, or stunt die, depending on the game. When you roll it, you basically add those 3 dice, add any focuses, talents, and other bonuses you get from your stats, and compare that to your target number. If you succeed, you might, and you roll doubles, you will trigger stunts, which I'll dig into as we play the game. But with that, let's go ahead and meet our cast. Players. Can you please let the viewers know your name, your character's name, and 1 or 2 things about your character this evening? Go ahead and work our way around the table. So we'll start with Alex.
Hello, everybody. My name is Alex, and as I would say as usual, but just like last week, I will be playing the part of Edison Lowe, who is a deplorable occultist who was raised by serial killers following a presumed patron in yellow. I will let you fill in the blanks as much as you need. There's no question today, so I'll pass it over to Wiki.
Hi, I'm Wiki. I'm playing Quinn Thomas, who is ex-military and basically having a kind of a bad time just in general ever since she left the military. Not in a good headspace. And also had some experiences that put her in even in more not a good headspace last week. So I will pass it straight down to Calvin.
Oh, hey. Well, I'm Calvin, and I will be playing Fran, a former reporter, former photojournalist who has started to see some very odd things in her pictures and may have discovered something even stranger about herself last week. Hopefully you got that episode. I'm here at least once a week, and I'm also over on the Win with Dice channel, where we have weekly gaming streams and weekly GM podcasts. We just uploaded one today. We're talking about more Lancer stuff, which is really fun and interesting, so definitely go check that out if you're into that sort of thing. And be sure to check out the Kickstarter as well. And I will pass it over to Blue.
Well, hi. You guys probably haven't seen me much, but if you watched last week's episode, I play Erica. I, as said, blue. So great at words right now. Erica's basically a former ghost hunter before something went wrong and lost her entire crew, which has left her perfectly fine. But yeah, you guys probably might have seen me if you were listening when we had the podcast Something Dragons, and then rather than that, you might see me just hopping around on occasionally a one-shot. Other than that, I don't really much to say, so I'm gonna pass it over to our final person, Brandon.
Hi, everybody. I am Brandon, and when I am not real playing an exhausted teacher, I am role playing Brian Schaefer, a Miskatonic PhD candidate in English literature, who he's had a bad day. He's had a bad day, and I think I'll just leave it at that.
For the record, this is Edison's favorite day since he left the cult.
Of course.
Josie?
So with that, thank you, cast. So quick recap. Last week, the heroes, for lack of a better term,
Protagonists.
Main people having problems.
Were investigating what was going on with words. So last week, the session started with them at a local Langstrom Center, which is the local outpatient facility for members with patients that have all sorts of issues. Our particular group are suffering from insomnia or night terrors and stuff related to sleep disorders. So there's a small group that they're part of. While there, a quake struck the Arkham region, Arkham, Massachusetts, and which is unusual given, well, those are normally a West Coast thing and an East Coast thing. The players quickly sensed that something was not quite right with that, especially Edison, and began to research what could possibly be going on, leading them to Miskatonic University, where two of our members are students. While reading the library, Edison and the crew encountered a rambunctious, annoying, aggravating, I don't know what the word the players would describe her.
Troublesome.
Somehow still living.
Worrisome.
Person by the name of Jess, where she basically kind of poked and prod the players a little bit to kind of indicate, hey, something is something mysterious is going on, and I'm not going to really help you, but I'm just going to annoy you about it. From there, the players began researching more. They did eventually get a call asking them to meet back at Langstrom's late at night, where they proceeded to break in and investigate. During that encounter, they discovered what apparently was a scene of a crime. Lots of blood, knocked over chairs, bunch of spilled papers and photos and medical records and the like, pointing to two of our members. They also encountered some other strange-looking people, ? And fled the scene with their ill-gotten gains in tow, and are now on the way to in between. We did a cut scene in between the two where they stopped to pick up some supplies in between episode 1 and episode 2, where they're raiding the local Walmart late at night for a bunch of supplies. And so off screen, we did some resource checks, which is basically we did a standard test with the resource mechanic, where they rolled against the resource total and succeeds. They got the stuff. It fails, they didn't. So most of the crew had picked up baseball bats and crowbars and hunting rifles and the like to just in case more of those strange not people show up as they are making their way across the interstate line down to Kingsport and the the home of one of their fellow group members, Melanie, Mel for short, Gibson. And that's where we find them tonight, on the road down south towards Kingsport. Anything anyone else would like to add before we jump into tonight's shenanigans?
I'm assuming Fran is still the one driving. She probably was a little bit frantic when they were first leaving the building, but now that they're like just on a stretch of road, she's probably still like gripping the wheel fairly tight, but she's definitely driving with more caution than panic.
Quinn is absolutely watching for tails.
I would like to keep reading the papers we frantically grabbed as we were running about our friends.
Yeah, I'm going to do that too. Especially since I, don't need a light, apparently. And I am a topic of the papers.
Yes, you are.
I'm going to consult the occult tomes on my Kindle and see if I can find anything about dark-eyed, scary people.
I knew Amazon was a source of dark, unimaginable knowledge.
The app, or did you have to pay extra?
Amazon, you always have to pay extra.
Yeah, you get a few for like 2.
That's how they get you.
I love the idea of an in-world app where there is a Mythos Tomes on an in-world app.
Dark books and you.
Dark books and you.
You just have to, it's $2.99 a month plus 1 sacrifice.
Yeah, they won't let me go back to the pet store. It's sad. Jonesy, just for my out of character, Alex's sake of remembering, we only have papers on Brandon and Erica?
Yes. So it was you had papers on 2 of your friends. Use that word loosely for Edison's sake. Yes. The papers consisted of medical records, school records, transcripts, and just some random typed up notes regarding places they lived and things like that. There are 3 files in total. One is for Brandon's character. One is for Brian.
It's a similar name to your own.
The B names are throwing me.
Yep.
And the other is on Fran.
Mm-hmm.
The third is on Melanie, the NPC that you encountered the first session.
I thought a similar name would be helpful, and that has backfired spectacularly.
No, it is not helpful. No offense.
And the information about Melanie is her employment records, because she worked for a group known as Neogen, which is as we noted last episode, was a cutting edge pharma tech organization before it ran into many scandals in the late 90s and kind of got taken over by the government and shut down after a rather public scandal.
Interesting.
I'm assuming then, because like we're using these records to find her house,
Yes.
that one of us is probably pulling up Google Maps or something for Fran to drive with.
Yes. Yes, you're able to pull up Google Maps. It should be noted that Google Maps is notoriously twitchy around the greater Arkham area. And it's notoriously twitchy. It tends to move Arkham City out of Arkham County into Essex County on the map for some reason.
Are road maps a thing we could have picked up?
Yeah.
Okay. Quinn would have known to pick one of those up.
Yeah, and getting to and from, I mean, there's the signs and stuff, things are labeled, so it's more of just we're looking for a really obscure location that they can be a little twitchy sometimes. So, but as far as like driving from Arkham to Kingsport, there's plenty of freeway signs and stuff. There's a pretty straight shot south. So yeah, so along the drive down from Arkham down to Kingsport, you did stop off, you did pick up your shopping gear, and then you were able to hop back on the road and continue down. You are keeping an eye out just in case for any kind of people following you or keeping tabs on you, per Quinn's comment. With that, it's only a 30-45 minute drive depending on traffic. This late at night, traffic's pretty light. Most of the traffic that is on the road back and forth is primarily semis, and there are not that many of them, but it's, you know, moving goods between the two cities and other cities. The medical records that you found and the other records that you found indicate that there was some experiments being done, and Brian's record is referred to as X7-22, and Fran's record was referred to as D1-19.
That's not disconcerting at all.
I have no idea what you mean.
Well, we do know that you have weird eyes, so.
And so apparently weird eyes come with serial numbers.
And apparently experiments. That's what I was.
We all come with serial numbers.
What?
That is true.
Do you not have a social security number?
Okay, fair.
There is a difference between your social security number and my XJ90.
I'm just curious though, if
yes,
Brian has a unique ability, what about you, Erica?
Me?
What's special about you that you've received this designation?
I thought it was Fran that had
Fran's the other one.
I'm just.
Yeah, that was me. I
What's
mean,
special
the
about
things
you?
were covered in blood, so very easy to misread.
Driver lady.
Whoa.
I'm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have special. I mean, I got pretty good eyesight, but not see in the dark kind of eyesight.
Well, clearly, there's something special or important about you.
I
not
don't.
that I noticed.
I mean, with how surprised they both seem to be told, I don't think they know. Or knew.
What does it say in the file?
What does it say in the file, Jonesy?
Most of it is just their demographic information, where they lived, who their family is. More like someone was keeping tabs on them.
All it says is that apparently they had gone places. It gives info. It's not telling me what they have. There's nothing about freaky eyes on Brian's, so.
I did not have freaky eyes, I guess is what we're going to call them, like 3 hours ago. Like this.
Are you sure?
Are you sure? Have you seen your eyes before?
Have I noticed him
know
having
what it's
weird
like
eyes
to
when I
be
spy
able
on
to
him in the
see.
dark?
I know that I was suddenly able to see in the dark.
Were you able to before?
Edison can account for many times that I've bashed my toes in the doorway trying to make it to the bathroom in the middle of the night.
Okay, everyone's bashed their toes into anything, even when it is bright out.
Okay.
That's not your best defense.
No, I have not been able to see at night before.
So, Brian and Edison are roommates at Miskatonic University. Edison, you have not spotted this unusual physiology before. Given your background and that you have the occult focus for intelligence, it's quite possible that whatever happened earlier in the day with that Eldritch working that went off could be what's triggering this transformation.
Do I think the word transformation?
Yes.
I'm gonna keep that to myself.
I believe we're the best right now.
Yeah, please do.
We don't need all of us having an anxiety attack in the car.
So with that, you continue driving. You're able to have your discussions and stuff. Edison's able to keep his mouth shut about some things. As you make your way, you take the exit ramp and make your way into Kingsport, into the city of Kingsport. You're able to navigate down. You go to one of the neighborhoods, not quite as well off, a little bit more of a working class neighborhood. And you find the apartment complex that Melanie lives in. Able to park, and yeah, it is a 5-story complex. She lives on the top floor, based on her apartment number.
Okay, so before we go in there, what's the plan here? We're just gonna go talk to her because I'd really like some answers, and if she works with this company, she's probably the only one that has them right now.
I mean, that sounds like it. I mean, maybe, very aggressively talk.
Okay.
That's not a euphemism. We're not actually going to hurt her.
Let's not.
I just want to make it clear that maybe we might.
Let's not bring in everything we just bought, though, because if if anyone sees us going up to someone's door with baseball bats, they're going to assume we're doing.
Everyone's either asleep or watching TV.
You'd be surprised how much people mind their own business.
They're both very, very accurate about that.
All right.
And when I say mind their own business, I mean don't want to get involved in other people's shit.
Mm-hmm. All right.
But that's why I bought a backpack.
Oh, that's what I was forgetting.
My shotgun won't fit in a backpack.
Then you're not doing it right. When I get out of the car, I am going to scan the area for entrances, exits, blind spots.
Awesome.
I'm going to essentially assess the area for potential combat.
For danger.
Yeah.
You guys don't think it would be a perfect negotiation mission?
No, she knows a lot more than she's letting on.
Yeah, you're able to quickly get a lay of the land. You can spot there's a couple fire exits leading out of the building. Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, it's a relatively quiet neighborhood this late at night. You do see one gentleman a couple blocks down walking a dog. He seems rather grumpy about walking the dog based on his body language and how he's kind of carrying himself. Like he'd much rather be inside in the warm apartment. It is late at night. It is early spring theoretically, but it is also the East Coast, and so it is the chill of winter still hangs on in the air, especially at night. So
Fran's probably gonna leave her weapon behind. I don't think she would have thought she needed it right now, but she will carry the camera and everything else on her.
cool.
I'm keeping my knife.
Brian is going nowhere unarmed.
I'm not bringing my weapons, but
Leave the shotgun, take the cannoli.
Awesome.
And by cannoli, I mean your handgun.
With that, the group is able to make your way over to the front entrance. It looks like this is a secure building that normally has a buzzer. Yeah, it looks like that has been jerry-rigged multiple times, but over many years, and so it doesn't really lack and secure the way it's supposed to have at one point. Couple jangling of the handle, you're able to pop it open. no problem, and able to get inside the building. You said it is a little 5-story building. There's a couple sets of steps on either end, stairwells on either end of the building to get up and down. There's also 2 older elevators in the center off the main lobby area.
No.
Absolutely not an elevator.
We're taking the stairs.
Okay.
Do we know what floor she's on?
5.
All the way to the top, of course.
Yes, of course.
And I'll take an elevator.
I kind of want to take the elevator now.
No.
So with that, you're able to go up the set of steps, and you hike your way up 5 flights of steps, bringing you to the top floor. On the top floor, checking the numbers, you find her apartment is number 537. Making it the end of the hall, and so there's a corner apartment in the top floor.
I mean, at least she's got the corner apartment.
Oh.
Oh no.
For the moment, that scared the bejujus out of me, I would like to point out.
Awesome.
The music.
Oh,
It startled me. I was not expecting it.
Oh, wait, I'm up.
For the moment, Quinn is going to stay at I'm assuming there's like a fire door between the hallway with the apartment doors and the stairwell.
Yeah.
So Quinn will stay there and keep an eye on the stairs while other people go and do the talking to people thing.
So,
Or at least knocking on the door.
yeah.
You gonna be okay back here on your own?
I'm fine.
Okay.
I mean, I
so
think we didn't plan this.
So, awesome. By all means, will you make me a perception investigation check? And if you don't have the investigation focus, you can always just use perception.
Don't think that's gonna be successful.
But unfortunately, is not a success. Though I would like Fran to make me a perception seeing test, please. Given one of her focuses.
Would my expertise apply to this?
Yes, it would.
Okay. So plus the expertise, that would be a total of 18 with 3 stunt points.
Awesome. This would count as an exploration test if you wanted to grab a stunt off the exploration test stunt chart. But what you do pick up is you see some minute. Fran has a special focus in seeing and some special an expertise talent that makes it even better. As you're looking, you can see minute scrapes and indentions and disfiguration around the key lock itself. Obviously, this was someone has manipulated the key lock to pop open this door. The door currently is pulled shut, but you can see signs that someone has picked this lock before.
Could I use extra information to tell how recently it was? Because I'm assuming it was very recent, but I want to be sure.
Yeah, you totally use that. You totally use that that stunt for that. Yeah, and given the minute discoloration and dirt buildup around the hallway and the door and stuff in general, you can tell that this is fresh. Hasn't had a chance to get dirt and grime on it yet. It's definitely been there's enough disfiguration and discoloration that indicate that this was recently done.
Like less than a day, kind of recent, or just?
Yeah, you'd say within the last day or so.
Okay. So yeah, before we get too close, Fran will communicate. Hey, someone's been messing with this lock. Pretty recently, it looks like.
I'm going to draw my gun, keep it pointed to the floor, and kind of move up next to the wall that the door is on, kind of next to the door, just kind of posting up.
Is the door locked?
And no one's tried to open it yet. And are you testing the door to see if it's locked?
Yeah, but not opening it, like just like the slight.
You reach out, grab the door handle a little bit, and see if it actually turns, and it does.
Oh, Quinn.
Jonesy, where is the door? Is it right here?
Yeah. So currently, you're standing in a hallway, connecting hall, and there's a door that leads into the apartment.
Okay. I think that's right there.
Can I? Okay, hold up. I need to check my character sheet. Can I like try to quietly open the door?
Sure.
It's not a good.
Quinn is gonna see the four of them kind of like bumbling around this door, and she's gonna come up through the hallway and say, "Fran, watch the stairs."
Thank you.
Okay.
And
let me know if you need anything.
She will take point on breaching this apartment.
Okay.
Let's get in the place first.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll go back over here then.
Great. What would I roll for like trying to do a stealth? I guess maybe.
That would be dexterity with the stealth focus if you have stealth as a focus. If not, just a straight up dexterity check.
I'm not sure why I didn't take that, but I didn't.
Because you only get so many.
Fair. Okay. So that is a total of 15 with 5 stunt points if that is successful.
Awesome. And so that is successful. So you're able to quietly slip into the door.
Yeah.
leading the way in is Quinn and Erica. The apartment itself, the main door, opens to a small hallway. Off the hallway runs pretty much through the center of the apartment. One side of the apartment is a little bit larger than the other, but runs to the center of the apartment, leading to off the sides of this. There's several rooms off to the sides, on the right and left of this hallway. At the far end of the hallway, you see the door to the bathroom. The door to the bathroom is currently open.
Are any of the Quinn will have drawn her weapon as well before entry. Are any of the other doors along this hallway open?
Yeah, so a couple of the doors are open. There's also, and so let me qualify that a little bit. There is a couple sorry about that. On the right side of the hallway, there are 2 archways that lead into other rooms, and then past that are 2 doors. On the left side, there is an archway and then 2 doors.
Quinn will take the time to essentially clear each of the doors and the rooms beyond as they move through the hallway.
Sorry, what could I do?
Brian will be following, providing backup.
As you go in, the the first archways on the right leads into a small guest bedroom. There is a door, but it's open, so it's an archway. There's currently no one in that room, and there's also a sitting room right. The next room over is a sitting room, kind of a dining area, a couple of bookshelves. There's also a small kitchen and a second full bath. On the other side. The last two rooms you suspect on the last two, at the end of the hall, the other three rooms, you suspect one is, at least some of them are bedrooms, but the doors are all shut in those rooms.
All right, on to the open doorway bathroom.
Okay. It's a little half bath. As you peek in, it's got, a sink and a toilet. It's fine. I mean, there's nothing out of place.
Fine. It's fine.
It's a relatively nice apartment. It's been kept up really nicely. If some of the stuff is a little bit more generic and a little older and worn out, but all in all, the apartment is in good shape. There's no signs of struggle. There's no blood stains anywhere you're seeing so far. There's no, it's not like dirty and covered in filth or anything. It's a nice middle class apartment so far.
So there doesn't seem to be people in
so
this
far,
apartment.
So far, you haven't seen anyone. Like I said, there are three doors, two closed rooms which you have not peeked into yet. You suspect that those are probably the bedrooms based on the fact that you found the kitchen and everything else so far.
Hi. Are either unlocked?
Quinn will start at the door closest to her, which I think is this one here.
Closest to the restroom?
Yeah.
Okay.
And open it.
You quietly turn the handle and proceed to open the door. The main light in this bedroom is off. There is a little light coming from the far side of the room. As you look in the room, the light seems to be coming from the ground. There is a chair that's been turned over, and there's it's hardwood floors, and in the center of the room, there's right next to the bed is a throw rug. Hovering above the throw rug, suspended in midair, seems to be the body of a woman.
Why do I have to be the one to find these things all the time?
Could have opened the door.
I know. I am both the best and the worst person to be leading the way. Quinn will just back away from the door, look at Brian, and go,
I'll take a peek. My eyes go wide, and I look over back at her.
So, floating midway and about 3.5, 4 feet off the floor is the body of a young woman.
Does it look like the person who ran out of the meeting?
Possibly. She is currently kind of floated, almost like if you would see someone's body floating in a pool, but instead of in a pool, they're floating in midair.
Yeah, that's perfectly normal. There's nothing.
Normal thing.
So the head's tipped back and everything else. So you can't really get a good look at the face from where you're at.
Does it look like they're breathing?
So as you did a snapshot around the room, it looks like a couple of things have been knocked over. Like I said, there's a sitting chair that's been knocked over. The light on the ground is actually, it looks like it was a light on an end table that had been knocked over. off a nightstand onto the ground.
So I'm gonna pull. Quinn's gonna pull out her phone and take a picture of whatever's going on in this room. Send it to the group chat with Cult Boy. Get your ass in here. Okay.
He would.
He
With a period,
definitely
too.
would. Yeah.
Lowercase k.
With the period.
So yeah, so you're able to get into the apartment. You're able to quickly check the other two rooms. One is a study, one is an extra bedroom. There is no nobody else in the apartment you found. Just you're able to go and walk around and investigate the body and confirm that yes, it is Melanie's body.
Just floating in the air.
So
Like,
as you did,
One does.
it's fine.
Casually.
It's fine.
All right, I'm gonna nope back to the front of the apartment.
Okay.
And just hang out at the front door just in case, because nope.
Fran wants to investigate the study, but also doesn't want to get her fingerprints everywhere just yet. What? Why do you have?
Oh.
Okay.
I want to check out the I guess this is the living room. And the is that a porch out front?
it's a little balcony. Yeah, there's some
Yeah.
sliding glass doors and stuff.
I'm
On
gonna go in there and check it out.
Edison in case she wakes up, because I know that he is not going to be any good at negotiating.
I'll check out the study, see if there's any more documents in there.
Quinn will pull out the box of latex gloves from the first aid kit in case anybody needs them.
Awesome. So for those who are investigating, by all means, you are welcome to investigate. I would need appropriate checks. So for double checking my list real quick. So go ahead and
What are you doing? See, this is why I'm.
you do know that will take a bit to do.
And this is why I said I was gonna stay in the room. Because if she wakes up.
By all means, you can do that. If you would like to go and make me an intelligence check. No, I was actually going to call for intelligence forensics if you've got it. Awesome. So with that, I will say that's more than enough. So you were able to confirm the following things as you're peeking at the body real quick before you start doing this ritual. You're able to confirm that the cause of she is dead. She's definitely dead. The cause of death was strangulation. She has some defensive wounds on her arms from when she was fighting back with whoever she was attacking her, and she died about 6 hours ago. by rope. By rope. Yeah.
Wait, you said 6 hours ago?
Yes.
Like,
How long has it been since our...
Yes. No, that means that she would have died before you got the text message to go meet at the lunchroom.
How long ago was our
meeting?
Our group meeting?
That was early in the afternoon, so that would have been about at least 7 or 8 hours ago. So it would have
Okay.
been after she came home after that.
I'm like, wait, how did she show up at the meeting if she was already dead?
So,
Well, let's get with that could happen.
Yeah.
I know.
In this case, this puts her death shortly after the meeting. So
She's just that good.
So, for those others of you who are searching around the apartment, you're welcome to make your perception searching tests, and or perception intelligence. Yeah, a perception. Sorry, perception searching. Yeah.
I got a 14 on my perception test.
Awesome.
I also got a 14 with no stun points.
Twinsies.
Yo.
So, is anyone else checking for anything else around the apartment?
I can look around the room, I guess, while he's making a circle
In syrup.
in syrup. I don't know how you decorate your pancakes with syrup, man. But
Such a waste.
I don't top them with floating people.
fair.
It's a harder circle to disrupt than a regular salt line.
It's
Does
sticky.
the
I just gotta.
does the front door open in or out?
Opens in.
Okay. Quinn will actually crack the door just slightly so that she can have a view of the hallway,
Awesome.
as well as hear into the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And she's going to pull out one of those little little sample bottles of alcohol and just down it because
Yeah, understandable.
no.
So, so while searching the study, Fran, you're able to find Mel's laptop. You're also able to find a battered journal, and our Brian, who's also searching, you're able to find Mel's phone. You're able to find amongst a bunch of occult books, generic occult books, you're able to find a map of Mississippi University and a visitor's parking pass.
I'll share this with everyone.
Anything else in the room?
So,
As I'm flipping through the journal, am I seeing anything about either Neogen or the codes X722 or D119?
no, the journal seems to have a lot more handwritten notes about well, actually, just most of it's in it looks like most of it's handwritten notes about chemistry and really obscure math equations that you don't recognize.
Okay, well, run those by Edison when he's done his artwork. I'm assuming the laptop has like a password or something.
Yes, it does. You're welcome to make me a intelligence computer use check to see if you can get into it.
I don't have computers as a skill.
You can still attempt it without it. Just if you have it, you get the bonus for having to focus.
Yeah.
The nice thing about Age is that you always can, because it's all stat based, so you can always try it.
Mhm.
So with that, I do end up with 11 with 3 stunt points.
Awesome.
If that's
So-
successful.
Cool. So you're doing that. I'll get to you in 1 second. Brian, what about you?
I'm sharing what I found. Just kind of don't really know what to make of it myself, but like, hey, here's a map of the university, and here's a visitor pass. I don't. Looks like she was a student.
Yeah.
Would you like to make me a I'm gonna say intelligence check, because I'm guessing you don't have the forensics focus.
Yeah, but I would like to make an intelligence check. That is a 19.
Ooh, awesome. Did you get any stunt points?
No.
Can I lend my I got 3 stunt points in the last check. If it was successful, can I just use the assist action?
You sure can, and there's actually a few extra stunts that are I've written up for this specific location. Because that's the cool thing about Age is that if you have specific encounters, you can actually write specific stunts for them.
So I guess that makes it a 22 then.
So with that, you can tell based on the map that she found and the visitor's parking pass that she referenced. That parking pass is for the parking garage closest to the library.
Okay.
And
What does it have a time stamp on it by any chance?
a week ago.
How long have we been in the apartment at this point?
Probably about 20 minutes, I think, maybe at most.
I'm just gonna just huddle up with blanking Fran. Is that right?
Yo. Yep.
Gotta huddle up with Fran and just be like, there's something to this, but I can't quite put my finger on it. She's hanging out at the she was hanging out at the library. But it doesn't appear like it was necessarily at a time like watching us or anything.
At the 25-minute mark, the group text, they will get a message in the group text that says, "We need to not be here any longer. Gather up what you need and let's leave."
With that, what is Erica doing?
Looking around the room while trying to stay out of Edison's way of making the circle.
Awesome. Go ahead and make me a perception searching test. Edison, you're able to make the ward. I'm not going to make you roll for it because I'm assuming you're doing it just to make sure in case she came back to life, that she would be bound within your sort of ward of protection.
Yeah. And so I can make a safe space for me to loot through her pockets. Why am I echoing?
I got a 7.
She's still trying to figure out what's going on with the syrup.
I still don't. I got 4 stunt points. Yeah.
Fortunately, you need it higher than a 7 to succeed.
Yeah.
So, so Edison, you're looking through her pockets and stuff. Is there anything else that you're trying to look for, or anything else that you specifically want to accomplish?
Mostly just checking her for just stuff, clues. I've got my gloves on. Seeing if I poke her the wrong way, if she'll wake up and become a terrifying spirit.
She'll wake up and try to eat you.
Awesome. So while you're doing that, you are checking through her stuff. You do pull out a couple of pieces of small notepad paper, a little 9x6 tablet kind, with some handwritten notes on them that have been pulled out of a notepad and folded up.
Interesting.
It seems to be a bunch of numbers. You also find a couple other, a bunch of numbers and stuff written down on that. I'm actually going to give this and not make you roll for it based on those numbers. It's a lot of references to specific numbers for tomes in the restricted library section of the Miskatonic University.
Edison gets a little bit of a smile as he realizes we get to go back to the library.
They don't specifically, and the thing is, they don't use the Dewey Decimal System for those books. They use a different numbering nomenclature and reference for those books, just to make it more inconvenient for people.
Is she able to be moved?
Yes. And actually, I should have also asked you if you would like to make me a cult check.
I'm just gonna say it's probably not comforting to like watch Edison make a circle out of syrup, start poking the dead lady, and then smile as he's reading it.
Yeah.
It was, so to clarify, it was create a circle out of maple syrup, chant in Latin, and then
poke the dead lady and smile.
Then poke the dead lady and smile.
Well, you know.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Like Erica's over here, like that's why she got so low on perception. She's like, "What are you?"
There are a few things in life that give me as much enjoyment as this, Erica.
Please.
I got a 16 with 5 stunt points for my intelligence occultism check.
So with that, so you're kind of looking around. You do see over near her nightstand, there's a couple books, some other things laid out. But with that much, I'm going to give this to you. You have heard tales of people with extraordinary abilities, psychometry, ESP, ability to move things with your mind. Given the sound points you've gotten on this, you're pretty positive that she might have had some ability to manipulate objects with her mind, and this is almost like a muscle spasm that has caused her to levitate herself upon death. This is pretty much a rigor mortis effect for someone who has telekinesis.
Does anything happen if I drag her feet down to the ground?
You pull her feet back and they kind of float back up, so she's back the way she was. Your best guess is that just like rigor mortis, after a certain point, this will reset and she will probably drop to the ground.
Clean up your syrup.
Done playing with the dead body?
Only because we're out of time.
Man, I'm glad I've noped up to the front of the apartment because
I wish I joined you at this.
Meanwhile, at the front of the apartment.
Oh God.
I will pull
okay.
the rug over the maple syrup line just to really confuse the cops when they get here.
So you hear a click and you hear someone moving down the hallway. Are you? They're not trying to be super quiet.
They aren't.
They aren't.
Okay.
Are you going to peek your head out or kind of see if you can spot them?
Does this door have a peephole?
It does.
I will use the peephole.
Okay. So you kind of quietly slide back in, finish shutting the door, peek out the peephole, and after a few moments, you see someone walk past the door. Appears to be a gentleman, probably in his late 30s, and he has a huge laundry basket. He's making his way down to the laundry room.
Cool. This is perfectly fine. And then another text to the group chat. Seriously, hurry the fuck up.
At 25 minutes, when I got the text, I would have started heading over.
Cool. Is there anything else that you want to look for or grab that you from around the apartment?
I will take those books off her nightstand and leave.
Fran will take the laptop and the journal.
You said there were books by where Brandon's character. I don't remember your name. I'm so sorry.
Brian. Yeah. There was a couple of books out in the living room area as well.
I'm gonna grab those.
It's a good thing I brought a backpack.
It was a late night study session. Hide the guns.
Most of the books seem to be on the occult and supernatural. Some of them are very generic and pedestrian. And others seem to be older books, beaded and battered, that don't really, like, they're just cloth covers. They don't have,
Those are the good books.
Anything written, there's no titles on them, or if there was, they're long gone.
Don't read the title.
So.
Fun. Let's go.
So with that, the group of you are going to leave the apartment and skedaddle down to the car, I suspect.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So amongst the belongings, you've taken a couple sacks of books. You've got a battered journal, her phone, her laptop. Are you taking the map to Miskatonic and the Visitor's Pass, or are they behind?
Yes, I'm taking those.
Awesome. Mm. So as you make your way down, you make your way to the car. What's your plan of action from here?
Move quietly and stealthily to the car, and then to the library.
To the library.
You do know that by the time you get to the library, it will be closed.
It will be closed.
I work there. Do I have a key?
Are we going to break into the library now?
No, we are.
So I'm
How many
resisting.
felonies are we going to commit tonight?
I think we've done enough for a night.
I am resisting the urge to say, for a hero point, you can. That's from our other streams, our mastermind streams.
Yeah, they don't have a fortune points or conviction points or anything like that in Cthulhu. Do
they? Modern Age does have conviction, which can be used somewhat similarly as hero points things, which is something you can or cannot add to the game depending on the mood and tone you want to have for your game. So with that, you make your way to the car. I'm assuming Fran's driving since it's her car.
Yep.
So.
I will text Grant and ask him. I will ask him if he can leave the door unlocked before he leaves tonight.
Oh, I'm going to need a communication test for that. Because we've established that Grant does not like you.
He doesn't just not like you, he fucking hates you.
Yeah.
I mean, if I have any clues to do that, I'm going to be like, maybe someone who Grant actually likes should make that request.
I'll roll it.
Or not. Someone who maxed out his communication.
I got a 15.
Edison's like, it's fine.
I got a 15 with 2 stunt points.
I
I'll remind him that I'm covering for him at the upcoming sports event that he wants to go to. Deplorable little cretin.
He will text back, I'll leave the key in the usual spot. Don't burn the incense this time.
It was sage, but fair.
What did you...
So once we're all in the car and moving, like back on the highway, Quinn is just gonna go, what the fuck? Just to anyone who is in the vicinity of the interior of the vehicle.
Fuck if I know.
Well, Melanie
Floating goddamn woman.
Melanie appears to have paranormal abilities like some of our compatriots here.
Wait. Present tense. Is she alive still?
No, quite deceased, I'm afraid.
Oh,
But her brain, similar to that scene in Lord of the Rings where Gimli has his axe embedded in the orc's nervous system, is misfiring and it is causing her ability to float to malfunction. It'll wear off in a little while.
The
somehow
fuck?
those questions and just leads to more.
But like, how?
Okay,
And why?
put this into terms for people who weren't in a cult.
She can make
What?
herself fly, and now that she's dead, her muscles are contracting.
What?
I mean, is it gonna stop?
It will stop after some time.
So,
You alright, Gwen?
Okay.
decidedly not. So, creature people have dossiers on other people.
Other
Now,
creature
one of
people,
those-
yes.
People is dead.
Yeah, I've been really trying my best to keep a cool head through this whole thing. I figured, we see Melanie and she'll have some answers, but now it seems like she was just another target, and that list of targets just got one shorter.
I must
Yeah,
say
I'm
she had a much
I'm
more.
freaking the fuck out.
I must say she had a much more interesting ability than you do, Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the takeaway here.
Erica's not laughing. That's just
Fuck you too, Edison.
Well,
okay.
I mean, interesting or not, I'm still worried about what's going on with me. Am I gonna, I don't know, make everyone's heads explode or something?
Oh, that would be fascinating.
not.
Don't make our head explode. We're your roommates.
We can't go home. None of us.
No, they know our location.
Damn it.
Tell.
Home is where I keep all my stuff.
Well, it's not gonna be.
I know. Intellectually, I know that.
We're just going to have to find these people and deal with them.
Oh,
Deal with them
yeah.
how?
You want to do what now?
He
Well,
wants to do some kind of murder thing.
It doesn't have to be a murder thing. We can get the government involved, assuming they're not already involved.
Assuming the government is going to believe us when we go to them saying that some of us can see in the dark and that we found a dead floating lady.
Well, the burden of the proof is on the accuser, so we just had to bring enough
Well,
proof.
We have evidence. We've got the books, the laptop.
We
I
have
took
evidence that we
pictures.
went into a murder scene and stole evidence. That's what we have evidence of.
I mean, we could have them go into a room with me and turn off the lights.
No.
That's when my eyes go wonky, right? That's what you guys are saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Just gonna.
I don't know.
I'm just gonna. Gwen is just like, I'm just gonna. And she's just gonna start drinking again.
This
Yes.
is not something I have been training for. I have been training for obnoxious, drunken 21-year-olds.
Who trains for this? How do you train for this?
My parents trained
This-
me for this.
Of course your parents did. Mine
Oh,
did.
speaking of which, I did find some weird stuff in that journal.
Oh,
Want me to take a look at it and see if you can figure out anything before I freak out?
I would be happy to. And the reason we need to go to the library is because Melanie was looking into specific texts from the forbidden section, and I want to make sure we didn't miss something.
okay, sure. Can I
Wait,
go?
the library has a forbidden section?
I'm
Every
not even.
library has a forbidden section.
Restricted as to whether it's.
Okay, so
My parents said forbidden.
can I
Oh no, you. Edison is definitely kind of the person that would call it the forbidden section.
Hey, I have a trader something context. Is there a way I could try to find someone who could help us get somewhere else to stay later?
Yes, so you have the context ability. So yeah, you can use that to contact one of your other internet friends that would then be able to give you crash space for a while. And also use it to reach out to some of the more edge content creating members of the internet community, given your celebrity status.
Oh God, are we gonna ask help from edgelords?
They're not all edgelords, only
More,
like
more conspiracy theorists, but okay.
But it doesn't matter. They're really nice when you get to know them. They also mean I don't have to go through my parents, and I'm not dealing with that can of worms.
So, Fran had mentioned one of the books and kind of throws it back to you as the Fran is driving. I'm assuming Edison's stuck in the back seat.
Yeah.
No, of course he is.
They won't let me sit in the front anymore after the steering wheel incident.
The mom van, you're in the back.
So as the group was pouring through the various notes and content and stuff that you found, you're able to you're also able to unlock Fran's. You're able to unlock Mel's phone because the passcode for the phone was one of the same reference numbers for one of the books in the reserve.
Weird.
On her phone, you find pictures of you, Edison. And it looks like she and a couple of notes about you, like just like class schedule that you work in the library. You're in the restricted area a lot. And then a reference to you working for it's like Dr. Conradi ally ? As you're shooting through the notes, basically you're able to start piecing things together. So between the laptop and the handwritten notes and stuff, the one that Fran specifically found looks like, to the average person, it might be like a chemistry, a very complex chemistry or mathematical problem. To you, Edison, it looks like, well, sacred text. It is part chemistry, part occult, part mathematical formula that she was transcribing and from various tomes in the library. There's some notations and stuff around it with other reference numbers that kind of reference other different pieces of texts in the restricted section. And in her laptop, you're able to hack in. You find a treasure trove of information.
About what?
About a couple different things. So referencing specifically Brian and Fran, there is a whole dossier about a Dr. Richard Conradi, who is a senior developer for Neogen, and he was the head of the project, which is capitalized project. They were using aberrant DNA to trigger and enhance immune responses. The aberrant DNA labeled X1 was referred to as a piece of living black tar.
Okay, so yeah, Edison, what do you mean by aberrant DNA?
Brian, do you and Fran have loving parents?
I mean, my parents are fine.
Yeah, I mean,
Can you text them and ask them if you were really sick when you were little?
Well, Jonesy, what time is it?
At this point, we're looking at almost midnight,
Okay.
East Coast time.
I'm gonna say he actually is from California.
Convenient.
Right? unless you want to call shenanigans, and then I'll say he's like from somewhere nearby. But I am going to attempt to.
So you
Saxon.
actually, so your parents are actually from the nearby area. They have since relocated to California.
Okay. if you will give it to me, I will gladly take it. And so yeah, I'll text them. Hey, mom, was I sick a lot as a infant, toddler?
And do you need me to text your parents for you?
Yeah. Friend,
So-
I'm not gonna text and drive.
Yeah, quit.
Thank you for not texting and driving.
He's just like typing like one getting.
There are some horrors that are too extreme even for Cthulhu.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's why a multitasker who's good at texting and talking.
and as for Fran, it refers to the D1 sample being originally from Innsmouth.
That's never a name you want to hear.
Side note, Jonesy, do I get the impression that the ritual that I found, that I've sort of pieced together, do I think earthquake could be a side effect of casting it wrong?
Or casting it right, or casting it in a
right.
rush.
Yeah.
So it looks like, based on these notes, Emily, Mel, I don't know where Emily came from. Mel was looking at a way to create a counter spell.
A what to spell?
A counter spell.
So based on the notes you're able to find, as infants, there were multiple subjects, test subjects that Dr. Conradi and team injected with this aberrant DNA. It never, and the experiment was considered a failure. It never did anything that they were hoping it would do. They're hoping it would increase autoimmune responses, and basically, there's references to a government project, Project Next, which was a military contract.
Okay.
Unfortunately, team, we cannot go to the government. They're already involved.
Yeah. So that we probably could have assumed. I sent the text. Now, again, what do you mean by aberrant DNA?
DNA of creatures that are not strictly human. Or humans that are not strictly normal.
What, you mean like part a bat?
Probably nothing so mundane.
Like the thing that we saw when we were getting these files?
Could be.
Edison, could you do me a favor? Could you pretend you're not you for about 3 minutes and explain this to me?
There is a possibility that you have been injected with some kind of DNA with the intention of either improving your physical health or elevating you to a level that is above regular human. From where that DNA has come, I do not know, but it could. There's any number of creatures it could have come from.
Oh, fun.
Think less bat, more Bigfoot.
Yeah.
I'm not here for the sci-fi bullshit.
I didn't actually hunt ghosts.
I will allow Edison, based on your background, you to make me an intelligence and cult check if you like.
You best start believing in sci-fi stories.
You're in one.
You're in one.
I got an 18 with 6 stunt points.
Damn.
Good lord.
So, you do know that the idea of aberrant, quote unquote, aberrant DNA being a recessive genes within the human population is not unheard of. There are more than a few that have trace elements and trace DNA of deep ones, which is not uncommon, and ghouls, which is also not uncommon. The idea of splicing other stuff in wouldn't be that far-fetched. Based on the description of Innsmouth and 6 stunt points, you're pretty positive that Fran has some relatives of the fish variety. And with 6 stunt points, I'll also just give it to you. Your best guess, and you don't have to tell him this, but your best guess is that Brian has been injected with some sample of or part of a formless spawn.
Mommy.
I will hold that information back from Brian because he asked me not to
Yeah,
be me for 3 minutes.
And while you found no records referencing Quinn's behavior, Quinn's nightmare, and other events that you've seen would lead you to believe that she has some ghoul ancestry.
Nope. I'm not here for that.
Again, whether or not you tell her that is your prerogative, but 3 of your 5 friends are mythos adjacent.
5 friends? Didn't know he
Or
was
4 friends.
He definitely has a 5th friend none of us can see.
He's the tattered king.
Don't worry about him.
He's fine.
Oh,
He keeps me company when nobody else is around.
I'm just worried about you.
But yeah, so the I'll kind of give you since we are this is a short little mini 2-parter. I'll give you the bullet point versions of yes. So as infants, Dr. Conradi did experiment on 2 of your allies, injecting them with some sort of chemical compounds and other things. It is slowly transforming them. In game mechanic terms, they have the inhuman legacy talent, and the more the more levels of it you take, the more inhuman you become. You get more and more abilities, but you also become. It's harder and harder for you to blend in and not stand out amongst humanity.
More human than human.
Brian, I'm just going to need you to focus on how solid your body is right now. Okay, can you do that for me?
So, you do know that the Eldritch workings that was started would slowly, would escalate this. So your best guess is the experiment failed because they didn't use the right catalyst. Now that they've used the Eldritch working as catalyst, it's triggered your friend's transformations and possibly indirectly other people's transformations. If anyone else was in the blast radiuses of the Eldritch working that had aberrant DNA, they may also be transforming and have no clue.
Do I have any idea how wide that blast radius would be?
Your guess would be probably several blocks.
Okay.
Like our
So it
janitor friend.
So it wasn't like the entire, eastern seaboard. It would have been just a few blocks in any direction, depending on where ground zero was.
Well, everyone, I will convey the least upsetting bits of that information to you.
Is it possible that Mel didn't necessarily have powers before this, that this triggered her powers as well?
So what you learned about Melanie is that she was a junior intern at Neogen at the time this was all going down. She was actually one of the whistleblowers that kind of put a stop to a bunch of the stuff that was going on. Since then, she's been trying to keep, find out what happened to, the test subjects. And she has had several run-ins with Dr. Conradi, and basically was being hunted down by him. You do see references to her having, in her journal, some of there's some journal pieces as well. She references that she has some gifts that are just there's a few others like her that around the world that she's encountered, but they are more extraordinary gifts, ESP, and things like that, versus Mythos DNA generated abilities.
If we Google about Dr. Conradi, do we find any pictures or anything?
Yes. Yeah, you can find a couple old pictures, some really old pictures from some archive sites, some internet archive sites.
Does he look like he could be our group therapist?
He does not look like he can be a group therapist.
Do I, by chance, know any people who made conspiracy theories about him?
Not about him specifically, but there are several conspiracy theories about Neogen. That they were up to black ops operations. They were supplying illegal chemical weapons doing biological weapon design for the United States military. They were testing things on soldiers against their will. But it's internet, so is that true? Is that not true?
No, but I could definitely try to just reach out to someone and be like, "Hey, know about that one."
What you can find out also is that while just going up to my, what do you know about Neogen? There were a few Neogen facilities located near the greater Outcome area. After it was shut down, the FDA seized the assets from numerous locations. And then some of the other locations were sold off to other pharmatech companies.
If I look at the map, can I find any locations that look like good secret spellcasting center? Or anything Melody has marked on there that she would think that they would be casting the spell from, since she was trying to do a counter spell to it?
She was trying to design the kind of spell, but yeah.
She wasn't casting it, she was just designing it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, though you do know that the Miskatonic Library sits where it sits for a reason.
Let's go burn the place down.
Grant's the bad guy. Grant is the evil sorcerer.
That the Miskatonic Library sits on a convergence of ley lines. On purpose.
Well, let's
start... you suspect on purpose.
Well, let's start there. Well, I'll see. I could see if I could fill in some of the missing blanks on her spell. If you guys want to keep looking into this Conradi stuff, this Neogen stuff.
You do, Alex. You do know with that amazing 18 and 6 cent points that the spell will continue to transform your friends unless you do something to stop it.
Yeah, I need to finish this counter spell.
Okay.
Do I think Erica's gonna turn into anything?
You suspect Erica just has ESP or some other psychic gift.
Okay, she's not gonna like devolve into a color from space or something like that.
Not that, yeah, you don't, yeah.
Okay.
So there's no evidence that I was experimented on. Is this correct? He's just surmising.
Yeah.
Correct. There's no records of you or your family amongst the paperwork you have found.
Okay. So he's just surmising that
you have something in you, and I might be.
That I'm apparently a ghoul, so like vampires or something.
Sure.
Oh no. Ghoul means you eat them after they've died.
Ew.
What? That's not a thing.
Oh, what's the
Ghouls
thing?
are attached to vampires.
No, those are thralls.
Same thing.
I'm not dealing with this debate.
Edison knows what a mythos ghoul is. Alex knows what a D&D ghoul is. What's the difference?
Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot of difference.
They're zombies that eat human flesh in cemeteries.
They are not so much zombies, but they're degenerate humans who have degenerated and crave human flesh, and may be connected to the Dreamlands.
I
Well,
don't even eat meat, let alone human people.
I
Give
do
it
have
time.
a baggie of ground beef in my backpack if you need some later.
And where did you get my psych?
What?
So, quick side note: playable ghouls are actually listed in the rulebook.
Nice.
Ghoul PCs are
of
listed.
course they are.
Ghoul PCs are in the rulebook.
What's
Tell
the
you
matter,
what.
smooth skin?
I'll tell you what. The moment I start craving human flesh, Edison, I'm eating you first.
Yeah, actually, that's Edison, Alex. That was a really good point of reference. The ghouls in Fallout are very reminiscent of the ghouls from the Cthulhu mythos.
Excellent.
So
Let's go to the library. I've got a spell to cast before you all devolve into gibbering monsters.
I
Suddenly,
guess it
Nobody's devolving.
So Fran will continue to drive. This whole time she's like steadily been like just quieter and less responsive the more she learns about this, like depending on how much of the disturbing facts are revealed, just but still regardless, like the more she hears. There's like this 1,000-yard stare on her face. Her reflexes have probably dulled a bit as she's driving because she is just like almost entirely elsewhere. Probably misses her exit.
I mean, that's why Eric is there trying to help. Fran?
can I get a perception check from Quinn? Perception seeing.
I only have survival.
Well, you can still do perception, even if you don't have to focus.
I will if there we go.
It's up to roll 20.
It's between roll 20 and God.
Wow. A 19 with 6 stunt points.
Yeah.
With that, you note that you're being followed.
Yep. Cool.
There's a car quickly pulling up. So you have made your way off the city streets onto the on-ramp and are heading onto the freeway to head back to Arkham and to the library. As you're having this conversation, you do notice that something followed you across a couple of side streets and up the up ramp. And this late at night, you got quickly nervous that someone was following you. As you're making your way up, you definitely see that something is following you. And with that, we will
Damn
jump to our break and pick up with them being followed once we get back from a quick break.
it.
There you go.
Chase.
This is so much fun. I hate you.
Awesome.
Yay!
We're gonna die.
Yeah.